Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Today is the 12th of Dhul Hijjah. The year is 1439 after Hijrah. And we are in the camp of Mina in the second day of Tashriq in Hajj. And in my group, somebody had captured my attention. And the way that he captured my attention is I was looking at his back. And there was something there I'm going to show you in a minute, inshallah. After hearing the brother saying what is his name and his background, inshallah. What's your name?
Daniel.
Daniel what?
Clifton.
Lifton. That's your father's name?
Yes.
MashaAllah, tabarakallah. Daniel, what was your first religion before you became a Muslim?
Christian.
Is that proper practicing Christian or?
No.
But did you believe in Jesus?
I was brought up in a Christian household, but I was never really a firm believer.
And your father and your mother were Christians as well?
My father was agnostic, my mother was Christian.
Right, did you go to the church when you were a kid?
Now and again. Yeah.
Right. Can you just tell us your journey to Islam? How did it start?
It started with a growing dissatisfaction of the teachings of Christianity. I liked what Jesus was saying, but I couldn't accept the idea that he was divine. It didn't make logical sense that a God would walk around on 2 feet upon the earth. I then went to university and studied theology, where my dissatisfaction, my doubts grew even stronger. When I realised that an omnipotent being could not truly have an heir, and you can't have two all-powerful beings. So theologically speaking, the idea of a God having an issue does not make theological sense. I then grew on to learn about the Council of Nicaea, where 100 years after Jesus' death, they had a big meeting to decide the actual nature of Jesus, because at that stage they were undecided about what Jesus was. Many followers thought he was a prophet, some thought he was a political leader, and some thought he was divine. So 100 years after his death, they finally decided he was a son of God. Again, to me, that didn't make logical sense. If there really was a son of God walking the earth, I think people would have known about it before 100 years after his death. Islam offered a lot of the answers that I was seeking, but I lacked the conviction and strength to join it. And so I spent many years searching for answers, and I filled that hole in my soul with alcohol and drugs. After about 10 years, I realised I was in a downward spiral.
When was that? How long ago?
When I was around about 30. So
and how long ago?
14 years ago.
So you're about 44 now?
I am 44 now, yes.
Go ahead.
So about 14 years ago, I realised I was in a downward spiral, and I realised that I was trying to fill a hole in my life with instant gratification. I was filling the needs of my soul with drugs, alcohol, nicotine, recreational drugs. But it wasn't a lasting gratification, it was an instant hit. And so I realised I needed more. I attended a lecture given by people on spirituality, and a Buddhist speaker was there, and he was speaking about his life story. He spoke about how he'd walked for peace during the Vietnam War. At the end of it, he urged everyone in the audience to leave there and to have a very deep look in the mirror and have a deep sort of soul search about what they thought was spiritual, what actually was inside them that was special. And so I left there. I went to a bar, I ordered a pint of beer, and as I watched the bubbles rise in the glass, I thought, and then I left and I walked out without touching it.
Allahu
and I
Akbar.
made that decision, Allahu Akbar, from then on to become a Muslim. It was
Allah.
October, it was Ramadan, and I had taken Shahada during Ramadan that year.
Which year, you remember? You know, 14 years
ago. Whatever year that was.
MashaAllah. Did you fast up the days afterwards?
I did, yes.
Straight away?
Yes.
Where did you declare your Shahada? Which masjid?
It was in Slough.
In Slough. Oh, that's not far away from me. MashaAllah, tabarakallah, Daniel. As I said before, when I started this recording, that I have, looked at you, and the thing that captured my attention was the thing in your back. Do you mind if I look at it?
Not at all. I will.
Go on. He was, when he was close of Ihram, the back was showing. So I was looking here, there was a cross, and there's a cross to cross the cross. I actually asked the doctors, he said it's very hard to remove the cross, but I like how Daniel got rid of the cross by crossing the cross by another cross. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant you Jannah, ya Daniel. Jazakallah khairan for showing that. And I have to conclude this because we are about to take our breakfast with the brothers here in the camp of Mina. Barakallahu fihum, inshallah, and jazakumullahu khairan. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.